in order to calculate a value for the stock, I depend upon the price it's going to have next year. Okay? In clearing markets, remember, you don't have to be a Marxist to make a distinction between value and price. Of course, this statement flew over your heads. Anybody here knows what I mean when I say there's a difference between value and price? Price is what you pay, value is what you get, right? But in markets with rational agents, in equilibrium, price equals value. It's not always the case, but most of the time. That P1 is unknown, okay? Now let's repeat this experiment. Suppose we decide to keep this investment an extra year. So we will get D2 as dividend in year 2 and P2 as resale price. Hence, value now is going to be present value of the first dividend plus D2 plus P2 1 plus R squared. Remember, we're discounting it for 2 years. Or where PV2 is defined as present value of year 2 dividends. Again, we didn't get out of the problem. Now we need to know the price at the end of year 2. If we continued with this process ad infinitum, it's fancy Latin for until infinity and beyond. And we get value now equals provided that this is kind of a technical condition that you don't have to worry about too much. Limit as n goes to infinity, Pn over 1 plus Rn equals 0. So eventually the price eventually is not going to grow faster than the interest rate. It may grow fast initially, but at the very end, it should be slower than that. Or we can write this as it's called T dt over 1 plus R to the power T. This notation basically means for each value of t from 1 to infinity, calculate that amount and keep adding them up. This is called a summation notation. That's a discrete version of what you may have seen in a calculus class. Anybody have seen something called integral? If you're taking advanced calculus, you may have seen it. It's a device we use in calculus to calculate area under the curve, which was something invented by Isaac Newton, and at the same time, I don't remember his first name, I think Gottfried Leibniz. All this says is value of stock is equal to present value of all future dividends. You know, if God, Jesus, Allah, Brahma, you know, pick your deity, told you what all those dividends are going to be, all you have to do is calculate present value of each, add them up, you're home. This is good as a model, as a theoretical model. But it has serious limitations in applications. As it requires forecasts of all future dividends. Coca-Cola Company is probably the company with most stable dividend and dividend growth over the last 100 years almost. And if you ask the Coke executive right now, what do you think your dividend is going to be 10 years from now? They're going to say, I don't know. They'll get a good idea over the next five years or so. But 10 years from now, they have no idea. I mean, if they could foresee what's going to happen 10 years from now, they probably wouldn't be working at Coca-Cola anyway. And even if you could forecast individual future dividends, you still hit the second law of thermodynamics. Anybody knows about this? What's the first law of thermodynamics? Mass and energy are always preserved. You know, going back to Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared. If you start with a pound of matter, no matter what happens, you either have a pound of matter or equivalent energy or a combination thereof. The second law of thermodynamics says entropy always increases. Entropy is a fancy word for disorder, uncertainty. If I ask you to forecast dividends next year and dividends 10 years from now, and I ask you to place bets on the accuracy, you wouldn't be as willing to bet on the accuracy of the 10-year forecast. Because stuff happens. Uncertainty adds up. Which means forecast quality decreases with forecast horizon. That's why we will look into some simplified models. So let's do model 0. We know D1, and we also know that dividends will stay at that level forever. So that means dt equals d1 for all t greater than or equal 1. That's, I guess you guys are not seeing the green that well. You should turn that. Maybe this. Yeah, it's a little bit better now. Because what I see here and what you can see over there are two different things. When something is not clear, tell me. It won't offend me. You guys do know that you're paying my salary, right? You're my clients, and client is always right. That doesn't get you out of a wrong answer, but asking me, objecting to me, do not have consequences. This is not, primary school. Back when I was in college, there were certain professors, if you asked a question and showed that they were wrong, even if you got all hundreds, there was no way you were getting an A in that class. Don't know why. Being wrong is a human condition.